Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to be exploring the Avocet Line, linking Exeter with Exmouth, and looking at how the railway has evolved over time to survive and meet the needs of the towns and villages it serves. The Avocet Line, built in 1861, follows the Exe estuary and was built to provide a vital goods link between the city of Exeter and the trading ports of Topsham and Exmouth. We'll start our journey at Exmouth. What we see today is a vastly pared-back station and line network compared to its history. Time and progress has erased most of the evidence of what Exmouth's railway was, but resources such as OS maps provide some insight. Today what remains is a rather modest 1970s built terminus, but Exmouth was once a junction. As with most railways, they were justified and built for goods traffic initially, and then passenger services grew. In 1897, a passenger branch was added to Budleigh Salterton to serve the growing tourist and agricultural demand. With increasing competition from road, traffic was limited, and in 1967 the line closed. A harbour spur also existed to convey goods such as coal, building and agricultural materials, but after World War II, coastal shipping declined and road haulage increased. The spar traffic had all but finished by the 1960s, with eventual closure in 1967. The evidence of these former lines has been erased and replaced with a relief road and a car park. What remains today is a shadow of its former self. On a day like today, you can see why the Avocet Line has survived, offering some of the most scenic views in the country for day trippers and providing commuters access to Exeter. One of the gems along the line is Lympston, a small village with a strong and evident fishing history and not to mention smuggling. Lympston balances itself on the edge of the estuary and uses a series of floodgates for protection in high tides. It's a vibrant village with a number of pubs and shops. Lympston Village Station is a small single-platform station that's purposeful rather than anything more elaborate, but is a vital link along the Avocet Line. As we head out of Lympston in the direction of Exeter, we arrive at Lympston Commando. This is a military halt that opened in 1976 to serve the Royal Marines Commando Training Centre, a purpose that has remained to this day, providing transport to 80,000 Marines per year. The station is adorned with signs stating that this is of military use only, but I believe that this was successfully contested, as the line and platform are owned by Network Rail. I don't fancy arguing the point though, so we will move on. We now follow the line towards the village of Exton. The station here is shoehorned onto a sliver of land nestled against the estuary. A modest station, it was originally called Woodbury Road, but was renamed in 1958 to Exton. From 1965, it became a request-only halt. The line now follows the estuary to pass through the village of Exton. Rejoining the line approaching the village of Topsham, the railway sits within a marsh. The marsh and surrounding estuary waters are home to an amazing array of birds, including the avocet from which the line is named. Topsham, as Exmouth, was a significant trading port with vessels docking and unloading their goods to be conveyed to Exeter and beyond. Standing at Topsham Station, some 600 metres from the quay, it's hard to imagine how the railway connected to the ships. Again, looking at the OS maps from the 1950s, we see that there was a spur that headed down through the village to the quay. I'm going to follow its route by foot. Today, Holman Way follows the route of the former trackbed. We can see a broad cutting that, with the benefit of the map, that couples with its gentle curvature indicates a history beyond the simple road. As we head down the hill, we can see further evidence of its past, such as the significant footbridge that once spanned the railway. What's also notable is the gradient. Historical records indicate that goods trains were limited to 8 wagons as they negotiated the steep descent to the quay. As we approach the quay, it's quite incredible to think that goods trains threaded their way through the historical buildings. The quay was a working waterfront during much of the 19th and 20th century, with small vessels delivering timber, coal and even guano from South America for use in Devon's agriculture. As we've seen at other points on the lines, times change and the railway had to evolve. Shipping traffic reduced and road haulage became more cost effective. So in 1957, the quay spur closed. A year later, the track was lifted. With nostalgic eyes, it's a pity, as it would have been a magnificent sight to see the trains being worked here. Heading back to Topsham Station, this is the more impressive station that we've visited along the line. There's 2 platforms and offers the only passing loop on the line. This usefully allows for increased services, roughly every 30 minutes. The listed signal box remains, but it's not functional. the signals and the crossings being operated remotely. The Grand Station building also remains, but is now privately owned. What we've seen along the line might first look like a railway in decline, severing spurs and junctions over time, but if you look along the line towards Exeter, the narrative is somewhat different. Rather than retreating, the line has been expanding, with stations added at Digby and Salterton in 1994, St James's Park in 2013, and Newcourt in 2015 to serve Exeter's expansion. The Avocet Line is therefore a story of evolution, survival, and now growth. It remains over 160 years since its inception as a relevant and vital estuary transport link. I'm going to continue my journey on the Class 150 Sprinter back to Exeter St David's. Thank you for watching.